Today we're going to see if we can describe some key landmarks in Brazil and the UK. Let's start with a warm-up and recap grid references. When looking at a map, we often use grid references to locate key places. Let's recap what you already know using both 4-figure and 6-figure grid references. Don't forget our special rule, along the corridor and up the stairs. Can you give me the grid reference for the blue circle? You're right. We'd have to go along to D and down to 2. Can you give me the grid reference for the red circle? You're right. Along to B, down to 3. Can you tell me the grid reference of the sun? Along to B and down to 5. Well done. Now can you give me the grid reference of the parking? You're right. Along to 16 and up to 31. Excellent. What about the church? The church is a symbol with a cross on the top. Well done. Along to 15 and up to 33. Well done. Can you spot what can be found within these grid references? What can be found at 21, 26? Let's go along to 21 and up to 26. Have you found the Inskip Inlet? It's a blue line. What does that mean? What's a blue line? You're right, it's a river. Well done. Can you try the others? Last week we were exploring a range of different countries in South America. Which was the largest country? What do you know about this country? You're right, the largest country was Brazil. According to statistics taken in 2020, Brazil had a population of 212 million people. The capital city of Brazil is Brasilia. It has 4.2 million people living there, but it's only the fourth largest city in Brazil. The largest city in Brazil is Sao Paulo, and that has 12 million inhabitants. In Brazil, most people speak Portuguese. The main religion in Brazil is Christianity, with 65% of people being Roman Catholic and 22% of people being Protestant. If we were going to go and visit Brazil, where would we go and visit? What do we call these special places of interest? We call them landmarks. But what is a landmark? A landmark is an object or a feature of a landscape or a town that is easily seen and recognized from a distance, especially one that enables someone to establish their location, so to understand where they are. In geographical terms, this means that it is a built or a physical feature that has local or national significance. Can you think of any landmarks here in the Northeast? Can you think of any buildings or statues that when you see them on a picture, you recognise quickly, oh, that's from Durham, or that's from Gateshead, that's from Newcastle, that's from Sunderland? Do you recognise any of these landmarks? Have you visited any of them before? Do you know where they are located in the United Kingdom? Your first task is to look at the pictures of the famous landmarks from both the UK and around the world. See if you can match them to the correct name and possibly even identify the location of the landmark. Draw a line between your matches with a ruler or cut and stick the images and names on a fresh piece of paper. Brazil is also full of famous landmarks. You might even recognise some of them. One of the most famous Brazilian landmarks is the Christ the Redeemer statue. This is instantly recognisable as a Brazilian landmark. It is situated in Rio de Janeiro and is one of the world's most famous icons. This soaring statue of Jesus Christ looks down on the city from a 700-metre vantage point. It was laid on the 4th of April 1922 to commemorate the centennial of Brazil's independence from Portugal. The statue was built in pieces in France by a French sculptor named Paul Landowski and shipped to Brazil, where the parts were reconstructed with reinforced concrete by engineers. It took 9 years to complete what would eventually become one of Brazil's most famous landmarks. Sugarloaf Mountain is another famous landmark within Brazil. It can be seen from many places within Rio de Janeiro. Along with Christ the Redeemer, the two famous landmarks in Brazil are icons of Rio de Janeiro. Sugarloaf Mountain is popular with rock climbers because it has 270 climbing routes to explore. Escadaria Celeron is a colourful and quirky set of steps. It's a fun and quirky landmark in Brazil and another exciting icon of Rio de Janeiro. In 1990, an old set of steps were covered with interesting and colourful tiles. This was a tribute to Brazilians. These steps are often featured in films and movies. The Amazon River is a freshwater system that flows from the Andes Mountains to Brazil's Atlantic coast. The second longest river in the world, flows for 4,000 miles and covers about 35.5% of the South American continent, passing through 8 countries. This enormous river is not only a Brazil landmark, but a landmark of South America that shapes the lives of millions of people in many other countries. The Amazon rainforest is an ecosystem with hundreds of species of flora and fauna that coexist in a unique relationship. For your second task, you need to choose 2 of the 5 landmarks shown on the task sheet and complete your own independent research about them. Use what you find out to create a descriptive paragraph about each one that will act as a tourist guide to encourage visitors. For a final bit of fun, in Brazil the main language spoken is Portuguese. I challenge you to learn a little bit of Portuguese after each of our geography sessions. Here is a link on your PowerPoint which you will download from the virtual classroom. Follow the link below to learn how to count to 10 in Portuguese. Have fun!